after the first 2 times Raymond Herrera spoke in here, he wasn't planning on coming back until certain individuals with the IQ of a rock decided they were going to file a restraining order against him. Free speech bullies, and then he's back. And then those certain individuals decided they didn't have the courage to show up at the last board meeting. And once again, this is why Raymond Herrera is back. And now you violated his constitutional First Amendment rights. You have violated the Brown Act. And now you forced Raymond Herrera back. You forced this circus on you, you idiots. I'm telling you, you are morons. You should not get anywhere near children. This is outrageous what you have done. I mean, what, it's nonsense. You don't even know how to teach the Constitution. You sit here and say that illegal aliens have the rights of Americans. Let me tell you something. Illegal aliens have no constitutional rights, and any rights we give them, it's not under the Constitution. It's just a privilege we grant them as a nation. Illegal aliens, they have no rights here, and their children do not, and we want ICE agents to school. We see the corruption that's gone from the classroom to the school board.
Go back to Europe.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Herrera, please, and Joan Ashley, followed by Christo.
So that's what you stand for,
Please come
huh?
up and be prepared to
Just like your
speak.
buddies, racist buddies.
Good evening, my name is Raymond Herrera. I'm Clayton-Tarvin. You're despicable. So are you, Dr. Hanson. How many times you can try to take Raymond Herrera for my previous speech, Gina? Wes Parker described you perfectly. I don't know how you ever got past the kindergarten. But let me tell you something, Gina. I'm going to tell all of America. I represent millions of Americans, Gina, and they're staring you down right now. I mean, if I have ever seen a rock at the bottom of the pit, you're in. Last week, this lady called in illegal aliens, like this guy and that guy.
Address the board, don't address me.
Last week, and they summoned the illegal aliens to come here and protect one, Clayton-Tarvin. And they showed up. And Clayton-Tarvin sent out a letter with Dr. Hanson over there assassinating Raymond Herrera. And it was used to get me onto the Southern Poverty Law Center hate group, which is an honor, Gina. Which means I am an American. Gina, after sending out that letter with Dr. Hanson, creating, the momentum for having illegal aliens like Nally come here and speak on your behalf, Nally, of all people, speaking on your behalf, you summoned him through Victor. I mean, what more do you want, people?
This guy's nuts.
So they came here and you don't show up. You had some kind of family meeting. Really? School board president decided she'd go to a birthday party after she caused a big war to go off last week at her meeting. And then you show up today with the room packed full of, what, teachers and parents to support you. Gina, I'm meaning to tell you, Gina, in this school board, I've already interviewed 2 lawyers, the third one's next week. Both lawyers that I've interviewed want a piece of you in this school board. But I'm going to pick the right one. You cannot intimidate Raymond Herrera. You cannot stifle my free speech. And I will not let you do that to the American people, Gina. I mean to tell you, you rail on behalf of illegal aliens. You run with OC 48 Resist, which is against President Donald Trump and any enforcement of immigration law. You're a school teacher. You're a school board president. And you act like a criminal. You are a snake, Gina. You go behind closed doors and you manipulate what you want, the scenario that you want, any scenario that would fit you to stifle your opposition. You're not going to stop me, Gina. I'm going to have this whole auditorium packed with people just like me. And as far as illegal alien children go being educated in our school district, that's why I'm here.
It's not your school.
The Ocean View School District had a picture of three competitors that won a science thing.
Thank you, sir. Your time is
They were
up.
all illegal
You're a
aliens.
bully. You're a bully.
Each and
You're a
every
bully.
one of them were illegal
You're a bully.
aliens.
You're a bully. You're a bully. You're a bully. You're a bully.
You don't even know how to speak now. Everybody's laughing at you.
Bully.
You're a bozo.
Sit down.
You're a bozo.
You're a bully. You're a bully. Leave her alone.
Bozy.
Leave her alone.
Bully.
You're disrupting
A
the meeting.
bozo.
You're disrupting the meeting.
No, I'm not. You disrupted the meeting. I'm not going to sit
Disrupting
down.
the
I don't
meeting.
want you. You disrupted the meeting a long time
You're
ago, Gina.
disrupting the meeting. Yes, trustee Briscoe?
At the will of the chair, if there's been to assist, we certainly have the prerogative of calling the sergeant at arms or our police here to escort people who are disrupting the meeting out of the meeting.
Yes, sir, I know. But now it's calm. Please carry on, madam. You're on.
Good evening, board and cabinet. Thank you for listening, having me here. My name is Joan Ashley. I'm a fourth grade teacher in our wonderful school district, and my children also went through our fabulous school district. I'd like to take just maybe 10 seconds of my time and have us all just take a deep breath. Something I do with my kids. Let's do that.
Inviting us.
I feel so.
I'm recording it.
I came tonight because I have been hearing about all this negativity. And
I have the right to record them.
And I feel really sorry that this negativity is what's prevailing in the community about our school district. And I feel certain that many teachers would come and do what I'm doing if they didn't have young children at home that they're putting to bed right now. My children are grown, so I have a little bit of extra time, even though this is not my top choice of where I'd like to be right now. However, I think it's really, really, really important that you hear and that the community hears how amazing our school district is and how appreciative I am of everything that you're doing. The turnaround that's happened over the last couple years with our new cabinet working together, working cooperatively with our board and with our teachers and with our classified staff has been phenomenal. The amount of communication that's going out, thanks to Dr. Hansen and the cabinet, has been incredible. Our parents appreciate it, our teachers appreciate it, our community appreciates it, and I know it's not easy, and I know you are all going above and beyond to do your very best for our teachers, our classified employees, and of course, most importantly, for our kids. And I just need that positive to be out there. I'm terribly sorry that this job that you've taken on to do the very best you can for our children is being overshadowed by all this negativity. None of you deserve that, and the teachers don't deserve that, and of course the children don't deserve that. We have so many amazing things going on in our schools. I could
Your time is up.
list them, but I have no time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Questions, Joe, please approach the podium.
There's a clarifying question for you.
Yes.
Yes, I just, you mentioned the majority of the community or the negativity, and could you just speak a little bit about what you mean by the community feelings? I didn't quite understand that.
Based on what I've heard coming from social media, I think is where that's coming from.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that, and not the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Krista Westwell. Krista Westwell.
That's my wife, and she's not here.
Okay. I have more speakers, 5 more. Please come up and approach the podium and line up. Pamela Shrub. Hillary Kelly. Naomi Anderson. Victor Valladares. And Tiago Leiper. Tegan Leiper. Well, German would be Leiper, but thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening, President Gina Clayton-Tarvin, trustees, Dr. Hansen, and cabinet members. My name is Pamela Shrub, and I'm a teacher at Harborview. Tonight I'm here, and I'm excited to be here because we are celebrating our wonderful volunteers in Ocean View School District. I want to thank you so much for honoring them and with such respect. I teach at Harborview, and personally I have 9 volunteers that help me each week. They support my classroom learning by working in small groups in both math and English language. They support student growth and enhance the curriculum. They're an invaluable asset and very supportive. And I just want to give a shout out to them, even though some of them have gone. But shout out to Miss Stephanie, Nana, Mr. Kramer, Miss Crum, Miss Cobble, Mrs. Quo, Mr. T, Mr. Wild, and Mr. Reed, Mrs. Reed. Finally, I would also like to share about the 30,000 plus hours of volunteer time put into Harborview. These parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family members support, organize, lead, develop, fundraise, and eagerly work to make Harborview great for all children. Without them, we wouldn't have a jogathon, casino night, meet the masters, extracurricular programs after school for the students, the kindergarten garden, book fairs, talent show, FSEA, and so much more. I'm hopeful that after tonight's celebration of our volunteers, we can continue to look at the positive things that are happening at our school and in our school district. And I plan to be here every board meeting to share the exciting and positive things that I like and am seeing in Ocean View School District. Thank you very much for all of your support and leadership. Thank you.
Kelly.
Thank you. My name is Hillary Kelly, and I teach anthropology at the University of Laverne. I retired from the Cal State University Long Beach campus after teaching there for many years. My daughter attended school in the Ocean View School District, and my granddaughter is in this district now, with another granddaughter soon to follow. At the last board meeting, Natalie Mosher made a public comment calling on all of us in the audience to seek positive ways to contribute to our school district. What a breath of fresh air that was. I would like to thank Trustee John Rusco for pointing out at the last board meeting that biological science and my own discipline of anthropology affirm that there is only one race relevant to our discussion, and that is the human race. The physical and genetic differences among us are really, from a scientific standpoint, insignificant compared to our fundamental kinship with one another. Perhaps this scientific view is unfamiliar to some in our community. As a former president of the Southwestern Anthropology Association, I can confidently attest that there are many competent biologists and anthropologists in this region who would be quite willing to work with teachers, parents, and administrators to get this point across. We are all one race, the human race, and we are all in this together. Science is agreed that our very survival as a species increasingly depends on our ability to get along and solve our problems together. In the past, I have made presentations on my discipline of anthropology to middle schoolers in this district, and I would be happy to do so again, and I will be contacting some of the parent-teacher organizations to do that. I will urge my colleagues to do the same. I confess some self-interest here. In teaching college students, I find that students who are well prepared to live comfortably with human difference perform better at college and in the world. I'd also like to mention that I served for 5 years as a health aide in the Huntington Beach City Schools. There I learned that our schools are not just institutions of learning, they are also one of our most important public health institutions. I also learned that disease does not care what your citizenship is, nor your religion, ethnicity, or income level. I therefore urge the board, and more importantly the community, to reject poorly thought out actions proposed from this floor at the last meeting, and this one, I'm afraid, to punitively target and quarantine students based on actual or presumed immigration status. This is not a sound public health policy, ask any health tech or district nurse, nor is it sound educational policy. We can do better, and I am grateful to this board that so many of you are really reasonable individuals and would probably never support such a policy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Naomi, followed by Victor, Naomi Anderson, Victor Valladares, and Tegan Leeper. and approach the podium and be ready to speak when the next speaker is done.
I'm very nervous. I hope I don't make too many mistakes. Good evening, OPSD board members, Dr. Hansen, everyone else. Thank you, first and foremost, for doing a great job. No matter what these mean, hateful, ignorant persons say, you're doing a great job. I'm very happy with the transparency. I commend you, Dr. Hansen, for taking the appropriate steps to protect your staff. A leadership role means taking care of your organization, including trying to file a restraining order for anyone trying to harm your staff, like President Clayton-Tarvin, and actually keeping us safe, because who knows, this person, Senora Herrera, has a criminal record, a violent record, and unfortunately, as a woman and a survivor of domestic violence, I know his type. They are cowards. They will hone in specifically on a woman, and their threats will escalate, and they will harm. And he is a very dangerous person. That criminal record tells a story, and it's not a good story. And I'm sorry that because President Clayton-Tarvin is a public figure, she's not treated like a private citizen, and she must endure this. And I'm sorry that she has to sit here, all of you, and endure such insults. And shame on you, firecracker. Shame on you, because you incite everybody. You had your wife and children accost me, intimidate me, tell me that I had no right to be here. It is my right, and if your message through them is to stifle my freedom of speech, you are wrong. You're the one who doesn't belong here. I read you stated publicly that you didn't care what position you got, as long as you had a public office, a political office. Well, you know what? You don't belong here. She belongs here. President Clayton-Tarvin belongs here. So does everyone else. She won this seat by a landslide. And Catherine Gonzalez, you're a sore loser. You should be with your wife at home, or volunteering somewhere, or learning how to write English properly, because I've read what you've written. You need an education. You need an education, okay? Stop being a sore loser. If you want to campaign again for a seat here, get a little bit of education. Learn how to communicate, or go with your wife and have fun. Do something productive, because you have no place on this board, and I'm glad you're a loser, a sore one at that. Anyway, thank you again for everything you've done. I really apologize that you all have to sit here through all the insults that these people have, all of their hatred. I don't know where it stems from. Senora Herrera alleges that President Clayton-Tarvin has no education. I read the man's post. I don't even think he writes at third grade level. He is envious and effing still crying 2 years later about something.
Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you.
Okay.
You're not going to speak?
No, I'm not going to speak.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Last, Tegan Lee. Did I say it right?
Yeah. Good evening, President Clayton-Tarvin, Board, Superintendent Dr. Hansen, and Cabinet. My name is Tegan Lieber. For the past 3 years, I have been attending Springview Middle School. On April 25th, I attended a board meeting and was appalled at what was being said about foreign students and how it was being publicized. As a part of ASB here at Springview, it is always a point of ours to make people feel welcomed, especially ones who are new to the United States. For example, in 2 of my classes, I have classmates who were not born here. By far and away, they are the 2 most amazing people I have ever met. I find it astonishing that they are able to manage to do so many amazing things. They are able to manage to do such as move, be placed into an English class, and not only learn our complex language, but flourish in it. My whole life, I have been taught to stand up for what I believe in, and this is one of those times. In my life, I feel I need to play a part in society. I find the way these children are being treated inhuman and don't understand why they don't get a fair chance. My closing words are, in this world, you get what you give, and I feel they should be given a fair chance at that. Thank you and have a great night.
We have a late submission just right before Ms. Leeper finished speaking from a speaker Are you going to allow that? It was submitted before the section of the agenda was over.
I see another card.
One more card. Well, I see two cards. It's Naomi Anderson for a second bite of the apple. Is that there's one bite?
Well, I think that, who are the speakers?
Naomi Anderson, who just spoke, and Chris Epting.
And each one has only spoken once?
Naomi Anderson did not speak at the beginning, but she spoke once in 1 second public comment section. Chris Epting has spoken once at the beginning and is requesting to speak now. He turned his card in before we were done, finished the second section public comments. My recommendation would be that we allow Chris to speak, since there's nothing specific in our board policies that says exactly when that after the beginning of the meeting part ends and the speech is cut off.
Okay, we hadn't moved on to P, so both cards should be allowed. If we're going to allow one, we have to allow the other in fairness, or we allow neither.
My understanding of our normal practice, but it's not, is one speaker one time for 3 minutes, and that's second by the apple in the second public comments part, even though she turned her card in. Chris has not spoken in the second part. My recommendation would be that we advise Ms. Anderson
Excuse me.
that we appreciate her interest in speaking twice, but we allow people to speak one time in each public section, each public comment section, and we would welcome and encourage her to come back at our next meeting. And then allow Chris Epting to speak because he got the card in right before the second public comments was over. Is my recommendation, but it's a rule of the chair.
Okay, so I will make a ruling. I will allow you to speak, Mr. Epting, but I would like to say for everybody here that when you come to speak at the meetings, when you turn in your cards before the open session, you're allowed to speak in the first public comments. That's what we did this evening because there were a lot of speakers. Many people came in after the fact, including those who came to the podium and complained that they had their First Amendment rights violated. That is untrue. They were allowed to speak in the second public comments because they came in well after, even a half an hour after, to turn cards. Trustee Briscoe, interpretation of our agenda description, I will accept. Mr. Epting, please go ahead.
I'm trying to be correct.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Trustee Westphal.
Point of order. You know, when we have our meetings and we have a closed session in the very first part of our meetings, that's the open session part of the meeting. And really, if you read the bylaw, the board policy, it says that people haven't turned in their blue cards at the start of that first part of the meeting, then none of the speakers should be speaking in the first part of the public comments, and they should all go to the end on the second. And we don't do that. We don't follow that. We haven't, as long as I can remember, we haven't done that. This may be something this board may want to discuss because we seem to be violating that policy. Might be something we want to take up at a future meeting. Thank you.
Okay, while I, on the surface, disagree with your interpretation, I'd be willing to look at it in further detail. Mr. Epting, please carry on.
Thank you for the opportunity. In watching this chaos tonight, I want to know at what point this board decides to step in and disallow attacks on citizens that are here. My understanding of public comments are that to be directed to the board about board concerns. Look, you know what my concerns are. Everybody does. I think it was clear, I hope. But this business of standing up here and turning around and attacking people, why is that allowed? At what point does this chaos get reeled in? I saw Ms. Anderson get confronted over there. What they said to her was, they confronted her about a lie that she posted about this man's family, that they had filed a restraining order. That's what they spoke to her about, okay? She utterly misrepresented what got said back there. And she deserved to be confronted, from my point of view. They have every right to confront. She has written things about me that are heinous, that are despicable. In my personal opinion, she's a cancer in this community for which rights up people. But I'm not here to talk about that. I think as a board, you need to control these meetings better. There are 3 HPPD officers over here. What is going on in the city today? Well, these men may be needed out here. Did anything...
Stop, please. Members of the public, please do not speak out from the audience. Thank you. Continue, Mr. Epting.
I hope it doesn't cost my time. These officers tonight, we have a very active city. Why are they here? No one's ever been personally threatened here before. Nobody. This is an attempt to send messages to people, to intimidate people, to not let them speak. If I came and spoke to you tonight out here, you would probably call the police, right? I've met you once in my life. I've never made a threatening word to you. I have no police record. Yet you stated at a meeting you didn't feel safe in my presence. What you do to stifle free speech is to send these messages out to intimidate people. And it's wrong. You're a government official, okay? But as a board, to allow personal attacks on people and grossly insulting, really demeaning things, when do you step up? When do you call that out of order? Now again, maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding of public comments is it's to be directed to the board, not to the audience. Yet time and again, I watch people that support you attack people who don't support you. And not one word is ever uttered about that. And it's chaotic, it's insulting, it's demeaning. You've got great teachers and volunteers here tonight that I'm sure are embarrassed by some behavior, but you're letting us get out of control. I think as a board, you need to reevaluate what your purpose is and what your ethical standards are. This is outrageous. What I heard tonight from certain people turning around and catcalling and assailing audience members is outrageous. It's something we're paying you to do. This is chaotic. This is chaotic. Who's paying for those police officers tonight?
Not you, let they're here.
President, please, can you call her out of order? You gaveled the meeting once because of me. She will not shut up. Where's your gavel for her? She supports you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Upton, I didn't hear. Anyway, carry on with your comments.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You have two standards. You have a standard for those that support you, and a standard for those that are against you. You have double standards, okay? That's why you didn't just gavel her out. Yet when you accused me of attacking your child, and I questioned and called you a liar, you ended a meeting, and then somebody was attacked outside by a supporter of yours, and there was no restraining order given. You need to step up or step down. What you are allowing to happen in the city is outrageous. You have created chaos. You have manipulated people. You have threatened people. You have recruited people to do something you're against the law. You're a government official. You're violating First Amendment, 14th Amendment.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Thank you for the extra time. I appreciate it.
You're a bully.
Why do you allow this? Why do you allow that?
Thank you. Sit down. Audience, be quiet. Mr. Epting, carry on. Okay, so what I'd like to say is that free speech is free speech. Hate speech is even free speech, according to our Constitution. Did you know that? It is. But speech that incites violence can be not seen as free speech. I've said this many times before. It is the truth. I'm sorry that members of the public don't like what certain other members say. It seems like it's on any side, all sides, but you know what? It's still free speech, and you can speak about what is germane to the school district, any comment, even unrelated to items on that you can come and speak here. Just because you don't like the content of the speech doesn't mean that it's not allowed. And with that, we will move on. P, future agenda items as requested by board members. Board trustees, anything? Yes, President.
I'd like to have a parking subcommittee appointed.
Okay. Can you give me a little detail on what you think that would look like?
I believe we've got parking resources that could be used to benefit the district and shield us from failures of our Huntington So we will have places, pieces that we have available for parking for sale. We provide businesses in the community. Specifically, it's not other services.
All right, people. You had Ray Herrera here and his Trump supporters here calling for deportation of children.
I really wanted some around there. I don't like being called illegal immigrant. We are not illegal immigrants. We are indigenous.
All right, so we had Ray Herrera. He went to the board meeting. Huntington Beach Court Board meeting. What's the name of this district? Sorry, what's the name of the district?
Ocean View.
Ocean View School District, Huntington Beach. Ray Herrera came asking for kids to get deported with his Trump supporter buddies. They did a lot of racist speeches today.
I'm sure your opinion matters so much to somebody.
I asked you about asbestos in the school district. And you decided to call the police on me and accuse me of unwanted touching of others, which it was your American Army that touched me. It was, what was the other one? The gun. Trespassing. And false imprisonment, which is a felony. By the way, it's a felony for you to make a false police report. And you threatened me with arrest. This is the kind of politician that we're dealing with here. That she can't even face the music. Look at what you brought to this district. I mean, there should be a few people in this room yawning at district business that's rubber stamped. And yet you bring all this anger upon this school district. You are the problem. Now, I don't want my disdain for an elected official to be confused with my support for teachers, staff, and volunteers. If there are any of the volunteers left here tonight, and staff members, thank you. Thank you for what you do for the children of this district. But please, do us all a favor and just step aside so that way we can get on with this district's business. This all stops if you resign. I know the smirk on your face is like, not gonna happen. I can tell. You know, you're not a good quality person. And any politician in this town that aligns themselves with you is just lambasted. I mean, I think every politician has
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Go to ClaytonTarvin.com.
Before my time starts, I'm just going to plot that I can see so I know who's the timekeeper. Is there? So we can't see the 3-minute. Shouldn't we be able to see that?
When we're in a gym, that's not possible.
Can we get a 1-minute warning, please? Thank you very much. My name is Chris Epting, I'm a journalist, author of 30 books. I want to first echo something Mr. Knapp said. There is, in effect, there are 4 cop cars here tonight. I feel like it's a police state. Dr. Hansen, I have written called you so many times, I've never received an answer, not once. I'm afraid to walk over to you and introduce myself for fear you're going to call the cops, file a restraining order like she does, or have me arrested for false imprisonment. That's what you created here. Jim Knapp is not dangerous. Chris Epting is not dangerous. Raymond Herrera is not dangerous. You are dangerous for abusing this power. I want to say it up front. Gina, 2 years ago, an admin on the OBSD forum received a note after they hung up the phone with you and then typed these words. Gina just told me she has stopped communicating with Epting because he is funneling all of the conversations he has to Gina with the CEO of Republic. I met you once and I posted the audio of that conversation. She didn't go into the extent of magically recently Epting's
They're picking on a woman.
Scholarship from Rainbow. You demeaned my daughter after she won the Miss Huntington Beach contest. You used my daughter as a political pawn for yourself, which is disgusting. Especially since you like to accuse me of attacking your child, which you know is false. Weeks after this message, I got a phone call from somebody who says, Chris, Gina Clayton-Tarvin just called me. She told me that you work for Rainbow, that you are a quiet lobbyist for them. You receive all this money under the table, that you work hand in hand with the CEO. I said, why would she make up that lie? He goes, well, don't you know? She knows you're a respected voice in the community. She knows that by taking you down, she removes you out of the path to Rainbow. I said, I've never written a word about Rainbow. I've never written a column about Rainbow. He said, she doesn't care. She fears you, and she's trying to destroy you. I said, it's not going to happen. She picked the wrong fight. 2 weeks ago, your acolyte Victor Valladares posted videos in front of Rainbow where he says, Chris Epting, I am standing in front of your former employer, and you can't deny it. I can't even deny it anymore. That's the seeds that you planted 2 years ago. That video had more than 7,000 views. How much did that damage my reputation? Thank you. How much was my reputation damaged in the last 2 years? Well, there have been hundreds of discussions based on your lie from 2 years ago. How do you measure those damages? Will you sit in court under oath and testify that I I work for Rainbow and you have that information, because I would testify that you don't have it. And last week, I got a note from the president of Rainbow, Jeff Snow, who said, this note verifies that Mr. Chris Epting is not and has not been employed or engaged as a consultant or any other capacity by Rainbow, okay? What you did to my reputation is disgusting, and you did do it, and you can't deny it. I have the proof. You don't. And I want it on the record now. I want you all to be aware of this, of what she has done. This is merely one piece of what she's done. And I have the evidence, and you know I have the evidence. You know I have the evidence. But this lie that you started 2 years ago, how much work have I lost over that? When editors think that a journalist is being paid as a lobbyist, that I'm taking bribes, why would you do that? Thank you very much.
Sir, can you give me the 1 minute warning as well, please? Thank you. That's how you. My name is Joe DeVore, and I would like to ask why the trustees would not take 2 minutes to review an audio to correct minutes. Norm indicated that he and the superintendent had heard the audio and that it would indicate that it conflicted with the written record minutes. She didn't disagree when he said that during the meeting, but they wouldn't. They voted 3-1 to shut it down. And the only reason that could happen is because the 3 trustees are going to protect Gina Clayton-Tarvin. What she did was she prepared minutes that put her in the best light possible that would mitigate her responsibility for Brown Act violations, and she crafted it in such a way that it had to go through. And the other 3 trustees are complicit in getting that through. Also want to know where the press release and restraining order is for the comments that a Tarvin supporter made on a Communidad site. It was during a video of the last meeting, and I know that the superintendent had received written notice of this threat, where it said, quote, where are all the shooters to kill the, and he used the word, but efforts. So I would be curious. He lives in Fountain Valley, which is right down the street, and I want to know what the district took, because when somebody from Nebraska put something on Raymond's site, oh my goodness, press release comes out, restraining order, but this threat comes from Fountain Valley and nothing was done, no press release was put out. You also need to put a press release out apologizing for the abuse of court process and the press release you used to smear Raymond. I am going to come back to every single meeting until you apologize as publicly as you did smear him. To dismiss and diminish a veteran's concerns and comments as PTSD is despicable. As a matter of fact, I did a little social experiment. A Tarvin supporter was trying to defend the undefendable. So I told him I was just going to chalk up his comments to PTSD. And that dude had a meltdown. He went off the tracks. And then when I explained to him that Gaglione had tried to diminish the comments of Herrera by just dismissing his PTSD, then he got real quiet. But that's kind of indicative of a cult mentality. This board district has turned from a board with radical ideology to a cult with a dogma that if you dare cross, you're blasphemous, and her minions and acolytes and disciples are going to come after you. This board has turned into an absolute mess. And Gina Tarvin is the Jim Jones of that cult.
Good evening, Dr. Hanson, Dr. Conroy, Mr. Avila, and Ms. Brentlinger. My name is Zach Hendricks. I'm a PE teacher here at Springview. I also coach all 4 of our sports, and I'm also the co-sports coordinator for our after-school sports program. First, I would like to thank you for your continued support of our district's after-school sports program. This program has been in our district since the 1960s. In fact, I have a poster in the locker room of records, and the longest standing record is from 1969 by Janet Bolt, who attended Circleview. She jumped 17 feet in the 8th grade girls long jump. So if anybody knows Janet, let her know that she got a shout out today. I just want to give you a couple of facts about our sports program. In 2015 and 2016 school year, the after-school sports program provided an opportunity for 824 7th and 8th grade boys and girls at our 4 middle schools to run cross country, play volleyball, play basketball, and run and jump in track and 824. Next, this school year, our after-school sports program had 78 scheduled events. 2 of them were cross-country meets at Huntington Beach Central Park. There were 36 volleyball games and 36 basketball games right here in our middle school gymnasiums. And there were 4 track and field meets, 3 of which were here at Springview. And our running finals meet is held at the Huntington Beach High School track each year. All of these events are attended by many parents, family members, teachers, students, and of course the student athletes. Also, our after-school sports program spans 8 months of the school year. Cross-country is in September and October, volleyball is in November and December, basketball January and February, and track and field is in March and April. So once again, I would just like to thank you so much for your support for this program. As a coach and a sports coordinator, it's so great for the kids, and I just want to see this program continue for as long as possible, and thank you again.
Marie Schools, Reggie Mundakis, and Naui Osettle, and last time you gave me some phonetics, pronounce it, but I'll Putsiklo-Fit. Please approach and line up. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Grace.
Hello, good evening. President Clayton-Tarvin, board members, cabinet members, certificated members, classified members. I would just like to start by saying thank you for a tremendous school year. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being there and listening to the teachers and the parents at Pleasant View and talking about our future move and our renovations and such. But the primary reason I'm here tonight is as a parent. And I'm going to brag a little bit because my son graduated from College View, Springview, Marina High School, University of Santa Cruz, and also University of California, Santa Cruz. And he's currently at the University of Maryland, College Park. He is working on his PhD in planetary geology, and he recently received one of the 2017 NASA Earth and Space Science Fellowships for his project, Development and Instability of Melt Decompaction Layers in the Ionian Lithosphere and Their Effect on the Evolution Movement and Spacing of Volcanic Centers. So, he summed it up for me. Using the spacing of the volcanoes on the surface to determine the interior structures of Io, which is a moon of Jupiter. And he's also studying the same thing on Mars. But what I'm here to say is thank you. Thank you to all the employees, classified, certificated administration. Thank you to the PTAs, PTOs, everyone that was there for him, the retirees who aren't here currently.
1 minute.
Just thank you for all you do. Thank you for supporting this district, these public schools, all public schools. And I'm a proud parent of a public school, and I'm a proud parent of the coaching system. And Joe also asked me to send you his thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to address you tonight. I'm Reggie Mundakis. I'm with the Orange County Fairgrounds Preservation Society. We're the people who stopped the sale of the fairgrounds when it was put up for sale by Governor Schwarzenegger, and we're very glad it's still here. We continue to work to advocate for public use of the fairgrounds and for the rights of the public to use the property that they own. So tonight, I'm here to let you know that the OC Fairgrounds is beginning a new master site plan. It is a public facility that is open nearly every day of the year. There's always something going on down there, ranging from trade shows to agriculture to Centennial Farm to the Equestrian Center and car shows and many things in between. We would like to have people participate in it. The meeting is on Monday, June 5th at the Orange County Fairgrounds from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you want to enter to possibly win a set of tickets to the fair, there's an RSVP, but it's a public meeting and you don't have to RSVP. You can just show up like you do for any other public meeting. We would like to have a lot of people there because we want to make sure that the Fair Board understands that there's public support for more public use of the property. We want to see more agriculture, education, recreation, and community use of the property. And we want to hear other people's ideas for what can go on down there. There's a wealth of things that can happen at that 150-acre property, and we want to hear your input. If you're interested, I have some flyers with a very lovely cow on them. This is the cow that the Fairgrounds purchased at the Western Fairs Trade Show several years ago. They bid it they won it in an auction, so now it's sort of like the symbol of the fair. So if you want some flyers to hand out to your friends, to remember to come to the meeting, see me, and I can give them to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address you tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, good night, everyone. My name is Nawi Huitzilopochtli. It's an indigenous name. I'm here to talk about Ray Herrera, the bully. He comes here, brings his friends to harass a woman. But Ray Herrera has a history of being a bully. Why do I bring it up at a board meeting? We should be talking about education and the kids, but he is for deportation of kids. He just confirmed it today. Somebody just brought a police state. These people want a police state. They want ICE going to schools, detaining children to check for their immigration status, and he confirmed it today. Raymond Herrera has a history of being a bully. In 2005, he joined the Minutemen. He and his fellow Minutemen clowns went to the border to detain migrants crossing the border. The Minutemen have known Nazis like J.T. Rady that killed his family, and Shauna Ford that killed a 9-year-old girl and her dad. These are people that he's associated with. In 2006, he started to work with Save Our State. They would go to day labor sites, harass day laborers without them even knowing if they were documented or not. In 2007, in Los Angeles, he tried to get his buddies to attack me, but backfired. In 2003, it's alleged that he beat up his wife and got convicted. So I would like to ask him if it's true or not. He can confirm it today. Now he and his buddies are harassing a city council woman. Wow. Not to mention, he supports ICE agents going to elementary schools and detaining children. If the councilwoman did something wrong and illegal, then get a lawyer. There's no reason for you to come to a board meeting attacking her like a bunch of bullies. Thank you very much.
Will be Jason Bozar.
Good evening. My name is Jason Bozarth, and I am an employee here at Ocean View School District. For several long months running, I have been witness to ugly attacks and character assassination of Board President Tarvin, along with a lot of ugly, racist rhetoric that, in my view, has no business at a school board meeting. Time and again, the usual suspects bring slides, rambling accusations, incoherent posts, and tags that supposedly prove something, although, to be honest, I have yet to make heads or tails of any of it. Here's the kicker. Even if there was some kind of nefarious conclusion to be made from all of these ramblings, it would not make it any less of a waste of our time. This is not a court of law. The court of Facebook has no jurisdiction here. We are here to do the business of the district, cater to every petty gripe or political axe to grind. If you feel she broke the law, then settle it in a forum that is appropriate, and let us get on with the governance of the district and the education of the children of this community. Thank you.
First, public speakers.
Thank you. We're now at J, Communications, J1, Written Communications to the Board. Superintendent? Yes, we've actually received quite a few written communications. We, on May 18th, from Chris Epting, received an email. I think that was distributed to the board. And we have it on the dais for tonight. On May 19th, an email from Westwell was sent to all the board members by Trustee Westwell on line 20 and provided at tonight. On May 20th, we received a message from Catherine Gonzalez about hearing and correcting Brown Act violations.
How'd it go? All right.